Oh, hi there. Good morning. Alexis here about thinking on paper and thinking out loud in regards to whiteboarding. So I'm super excited to have you. I just got back from a walk with my dad, actually, who was on vacation and visiting me here in Berlin. And we had some coffee, we had some croissants, and it was really nice. So while he's out, exploring the city for a moment, I wanted to share a little bit with you on the topic of thinking out loud and thinking on paper, and obviously thinking on whiteboards, which you see over there, my huge, ginormous whiteboard that I love and use every day. So yesterday I mentioned that I take notes, all right, and I encouraged you to start taking notes and using pen and paper, something like a legal pad for thinking out loud. So getting into the habit of not just keeping things in your head, but putting them on paper so that you can understand yourself better, and over time you'll learn how to communicate, because you're learning how to take what's in here and putting it out into the world. I think it's a fantastic skill. I think it's a life skill, and I'm really excited to hopefully help you along on this journey if you're interested. So I mentioned yesterday that I do this every day, and I wanted to show you a stack of notebooks, which you can see here. These are all the legal pads and sketchbooks that I filled up in the last 9 months or so, right? So it looks a lot, and it's actually, yeah, I think it's not that much, but I wanted to show you and also tell you a little bit about what's in this stack that I have here. Most of it is absolutely the very boring. I would say 90% of the paper and the words and the ideas on in the stack are totally mundane. They're somewhat some of it is journaling. What did I do yesterday? What happened yesterday? Sometimes it's just a shopping list. Sometimes it's a to-do list, right? So what most of what is in the stack of paper that I just showed you is absolutely mundane. And in fact, I rarely go through it. I actually have not gone through and gone back to these notes that I've taken. But here's the point. Two points actually I wanted to make here. One is, can you imagine, like, this is, I'm going to show you the stack again. So this is pages and pages of words and words and blah, lot of blah, blah, blah. But my point that I definitely want to make is, I'm glad this stuff is not in my brain anymore. I feel like this is literally like a hard disk, right? And I don't have to think about all these things that are on these pages now. I've outsourced them, I've downloaded them, whatever you want to call it, and I think that has been, as I said yesterday too, is that's what really this does, is it frees up thinking power and thinking space. And I think that's the value of doing this, and or part of the value of doing it, besides the actual cognitive work and problem solving that you can do in front of you better than in your head, unless you're super highly talented and genius level intelligent, but which I'm not. I'm just a guy, and so I really like that I don't have to. I'm gonna go into a note and just to give you an idea. Here, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, this is a great one, where I felt here. Everyone I know has the following, and this is a note about, I was feeling down about myself, and I felt very self-conscious about my place in my life, and everyone else has a nicer apartment, has fun being outdoors, has success on their side hustle. So there were like all my friends that I started comparing myself to, and I got obviously a superhuman. I would feel very self-conscious about it, and that kept on ruminating and percolating in my brain. And at some point, I was like, I'm going to write the self-pity thing out. Everyone I know has ... and I made this list here. and just sort of took that self-pity and that comparing myself with others and just put that on this page, and I have not thought about it since. Can you imagine how powerful that is? Can you imagine you took, what's really bothering you in your life and you just wrote it out and had it in front of you, and then you look at it and you're like, this is a little bit, maybe a little bit petty on my behalf, right? And just get over it. So, because the next thing, so for example, this is just random. I picked out, I made another list based on, writing down, and this list is I have, and I wrote down all the things that are great in my life, and that that are flowing to me, and that I'm enjoying, and maybe some others doesn't matter really, but that's maybe some others don't have. And so this is obviously just an example, but this is the power. I would have kept all of this in my brain, and it would have like really gotten me down, and I just got it out there. So yeah, so this is, I think, really, really great. And I have 2 tips for you today. So the way I approach this stack is I always have, I started doing this like 6 months ago, and I would recommend, I keep on buying these legal pads in bulk. They're like $15 or so for 10. So I think they're really cheap. They're really affordable. And I put one notepad everywhere I sit or stand or spend time. So that's at home and at the office. So I don't just have one legal pad that I sort of carry around with me, but I turn around and say, wherever I stay and spend more than a minute, I will always have a legal pad already there and a pen. So that's on my desk. That's in my kitchen, on my kitchen desk. On the counter. It's on the couch where I like to sit. It's next to my bed. So I have like my whole apartment and my workplace is sort of stacked and prepared with legal pads everywhere, so that anytime I have an idea or I want to take a note, it's already there. So this is tip number 1. Buy maybe 10 of these legal pads in bulk and just have one in every place where you spend time. This will make it so much easier for you to take these notes and start thinking out loud and start thinking visually than if you only have one. The second tip is, if you do sort of have not just one notepad or notebook, but you have many spread all over, then I highly recommend you taking, whenever you do make a new page or a new note, to add the date top right, because later, if you wanted to go in chronological order, it's really hard, because maybe in the morning you write in this notebook, and in the afternoon you write in this notebook, and it will make things easier if you ever wanted to go back to your notes, which, as I said, I don't do often, but let's say in 10 years from today, I will probably want to go through it, and then I want to go through it in chronological order. So yeah, these are my 2 tips. And yesterday, last but not least, I recommended you do some homework. It was to grab a pen and paper, doesn't matter which, can be as cheap as you want, and write down, sketch, take a note, visualize what was going on in your brain at that point, what was on your mind at that point. So I would love to hear from you how that went for you. You can shoot me a comment below, or send me an email. And yeah, I'd love to hear how that was for you, what was challenging, what was easy. And so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.